Hello, this is Chocolate the Bear, making another Tf2 tutorial video. So in this one we're going to be talking about the soldier. I just want to, now that I've gone over the game mechanics, I want to go over all of the 9 classes, and then I will be probably done with this tutorial series. So first up is the soldier. I want to start by going over the 3 power classes, which are soldier, demo, and heavy, before I go into any of the other classes. So soldier, his base loadout gives him 4 rockets, a shotgun, and just a standard melee weapon. I should mention that the base stats for all the melee weapons are 65 damage, and at this fire rate. The exception is the scout and the spy. Every other class's melee weapon does a 65 damage, so I probably won't go over it more than that. So his primary is a rocket launcher, which fires a slow-moving projectile that deals splash damage at the end of the point. And what the splash damage looks like is you can do stuff like this. An enemy that's like even decently far away from you, you can deal some damage to. So using his splash damage, it also provides a good bit of knockback. He's able to rocket jump fairly easily off of that. So this rocket jumping, although it subtracts a good bit from his health when he does it, is a very valuable movement source, because soldier, along with the heavy, is the slowest class in the game. So being able to rocket jump makes him kind of the fastest, along with the demo. Really, demo's probably better at it, but just very high mobility. And I should mention how to perform a rocket jump. You just look in the opposite direction of where you want to go, and then crouch and jump at the same time. You can just the crouching gives you a bit of extra knockback from the rocket. If you don't crouch, it just kind of looks like this, very lackluster kind of jump. Still gets the job done though. Where if you do crouch, you can go a lot further and a lot faster. Another thing that I should mention is if you angle it off of walls, you can get a lot more horizontal momentum. And strafing in the air can also help decide which direction you want to go. Say I'm going to be going just forward initially, and then I'm going to strafe to the right as I do it. What that does, you can just add a good bit of mobility into your rocket jumps. Say I want to land up here, that helps with it. So rocket jumping, there's a lot to it, more than I can explain in this video, but that's pretty much the basics. So with this rocket launcher, he gets 4 shots, and then he'll have to reload. He only reloads 1 at a time, so if you use all 4 shots, then you'll have to reload, even if someone's right next to you. Then he's got a shotgun, which is very trusty if you do need to shoot someone. So one thing with the shotgun, if an enemy is very, very close to him and he shoots him, he will still take explosive damage. So using the shotgun at very close range enemies can help reduce the amount of damage that you take from yourself in an engagement. And I just want to go over the alternative weapon choices that soldier has for a second, and that'll be it. In terms of rocket launchers, he has the cow mangler, which basically what the cow mangler does is that it has infinite ammo, but it does less damage to buildings. That's all you need to know. You can also do this shot, but it uses all your ammo, and if an enemy gets hit by that, they're stupid. That's pretty much all that matters. He also has the direct hit, which makes the projectile that he fires a lot faster. but also much smaller. He takes the same amount of blast radius, which matters in terms of explosive jumping. But if you're trying to hit an enemy, you pretty much have to hit them directly. And it ends up dealing a lot, not a lot, but a bit more damage. It's also very useful in destroying buildings, which is its primary use for killing the engineer. And then alternatively, you can also use the black box. The black box, as you can see, it only can load up to 3 rockets, but the trade-off is that it heals on hit. So if you can heal from 5 to 20 health each shot, which can be a good bit of health when in a prolonged firefight, especially if there's like no medics. He also has access to the Liberty Launcher, the Airstrike, the Beggar's Bazooka, and the Rocket Jumper. The Rocket Jumper is nice for learning how to rocket jump because it doesn't make you take damage, and it also has extra ammo, but it also doesn't deal damage, so it's useless. Still worth knowing that it exists in the game. And the other weapons mentioned are bad. So yeah, just the default rocket launcher, Cow Mangler. Cow Mangler is usually banned in competitive because it just gives infinite ammo essentially because there's not a lot of engineers. The direct hit, which is not very commonly used in competitive because it's very reliant on just directly hitting people, which is not really the soldier's specialty because the splash damage is very useful. And then the black box, and the black box is very useful, but in 6s it's not used too much. It does have a very nice place in Highlander though. So next up is the gunboats, and the gunboats is a secondary. What it does is it replaces the shotgun. I thought I equipped the gunboats, but apparently not. And I can't seem to switch my class either, or my loadout either. I know that the second loadout has gunboats. Please just let me use them. Tf2 is being laggy. Oh well. So the gunboats, what they do is they make you take 60% less damage while explosive jumping, and it replaces the shotgun. But having this extra mobility, I've already mentioned that the mobility is very, very useful. So it's usually the best option, honestly. The gunboats, they basically extra mobility. Very unfortunate that he loses his shotgun, but it's pretty good. Next up, you have the panic attack. Of course, the panic attack works even though the gunboat's in it. It's just an alternative to the shotgun. This weapon used to be bad, but now it's a side grade. Honestly, I don't want to really say it's better or worse than the regular shotgun. It just kind of exists. So yeah, now I can use the gunboats. You can see I only take 12 damage from that rocket jump. Even from close range, I'm not taking too much. And one major use of the gunboats I should also mention is if you're about to take a lot of fall damage. Oh, that was a bad rocket jump. If you're about to take fall damage, you can actually blast the floor. And sometimes because the gunboats reduce so much damage, you'll actually take less damage from the fall damage. Or less damage from the rocket hitting than you would fall damage, because the rocket will of course change your momentum to about like 0, and you'll end up not taking any fall damage. So next up are the 3 banners, and the 3 banners are very, very useful. So the battalion's backup provides 20 extra health. The Conqueror provides regen, and the buff banner does not provide anything. But what all the banners do is they every time you deal damage as a soldier, they will be charging, and once you reach max charge, you can essentially blow the horn on each one of them. And they will give a huge benefit to your entire team. The the biggest benefit is the buff banner, which provides mini crits to your entire team. This is also why it does not give a passive. Notably, it also takes the longest to charge. I think you have to deal the most damage. Versus, I think it's 600 damage for the Conqueror and buff banner versus like 400 damage that you need to deal with the battalion's backup, which is a lot of damage, even for the battalions. So it's kind of hard to charge up all of these, but because it affects all nearby teammates when you use the effect, they're all very powerful. The Conqueror's effect is that it provides a speed buff, and dealing damage, I believe, returns 60% of health dealt. And then the battalion's backup makes it so that you take 50% less damage from sentries and 35% less damage from all other sources, and then you can't take crits as well. I'm surprised it doesn't say it on here, but one major thing about not being able to take crit damage is you can't get headshot. Headshots will only deal regular damage. So there's also the Righteous Bison, the Base Jumper, and the Reserve Shooter. The Reserve Shooter is a decent shotgun. What it does is if you knock someone up and then shoot them in midair, it deals mini crits, but that's not really the most useful because you're pretty much just using the shotguns when you're out of ammo in your primary, so it's kind of like instead of using a rocket, you're firing with a shotgun. I don't know why you would do that. Oh, and the Mantrez. The Base Jumper gives you a parachute. The parachute is not better than anything. The Righteous Bison replaces your shotgun with this laser pistol. Looks pretty cool. Does absolutely pitiful damage. Don't use it. And the Mantrez, if you fall on someone, you can deal triple falling damage to them. Triple of your falling damage to them. So you can kill people with it, but it's bad because how reliable is falling damage. Anyway, next up are Escape Plan and Disciplinary Action. These are really the only two good tertiaries. The Escape Plan lets you move faster while damaged. It makes you take mini crits and less healing, though. So pretty much only pull it out if you're trying to get away. Disciplinary Action lets you whip teammates and you'll both go faster. Very useful. Yeah. And then the rest of them are kind of bad. Granted, the Market Gardener is pretty much just better than the default. It makes it so that you crit enemies while rocket jumping. So essentially what that looks like is, say there's an enemy over there, I'll just like go over and then like do that. I don't know. You can basically insta-kill people with this, but it's also a melee weapon that you have to use well in midair. Very impractical, but very fun to use nonetheless. Pain Train lets you cap faster, but you take more damage. So don't use it. And then last up, the Half Satoichi. Very cool weapon. I like using this weapon a lot, but I don't like using it on the soldier. It makes it so that you heal on kill, but soldier doesn't really have a good way of healing on getting kills with melee weapons. And if you put it away, you take 50 damage. So it's not good. Don't use it. On soldier, at least. And then last up, Equalizer. You get less healing from medics, but you deal more damage when injured. Moving faster is better than dealing more damage, so use the Escape Plan over the Equalizer. And that's it for the melee weapons, or all the weapons for soldier. The soldier, very useful class. His rockets can deal tons of damage to people. He's one of the major frontline classes. He's got 200 HP, moves slow as hell, but he deals just ridiculous amount of damage and can go pretty quick. depending on how you use them. If you're interested in playing the soldier, there is an entire community of people that just rocket jump with the soldier all day. Not all day, but there's essentially entire maps designed just to help people practice rocket jumping and show off how good they are at rocket jumping. So definitely take a look at those. Even the beginner ones are probably going to be pretty difficult for someone that's never rocket jumped before, but they're definitely worth taking a look at. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. This is just probably a bit longer than I wanted to go, but I hope that I can keep the next video short. Thanks for watching. Bye.